𝗦𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃, MD, Congresswoman, Law District of the Province of Guimaras. The Honorable Samuel T. Gumarin, MD, NPH, Governor, Province of Guimaras. The Honorable Cecil C. Gumarin, MD, Vice Mayor, Municipality of Buena Vista. Mr. Presiding Officer, we are now ready to receive the State of the Province Address of the Honorable Governor. But first, may I move for the suspension of the internal rules in order to accommodate the good Governor.
There is now a motion to suspend the internal rules purposely to accommodate the Honorable Governor. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Internal rules now suspended. The presiding officer recognizes the Honorable Governor of the Province of Guimaras, Dr. Samuel Tayo Gumarin, for his 2021 State of the Province Address.
Shall we all sit down and relax? The esteemed and honorable members of the 9th Sangguniang Panlalawigan of the Province of Guimaras, capably and effectively headed by the Vice Governor John Edward G. Gando, Representative of the Lone District of Guimaras, Honorable Maria Lucille L. Nava, Provincial Government Workforce, National and Local Partners in Development, fellow public servant, the people of Guimaras, and to all our viewers online, ladies and gentlemen, isa ka mainit nga pagpanamyaw halin sa inyong Kapitolyo Probinsyal. Almost the same time last year, terms like pandemic, virus, and quarantine have entered our vocabulary here and across the world. As words we use on a daily basis, we're profoundly affected by this health and economic crisis. Our dreams, development have been frozen by a deadly pandemic. Once a vibrant ecotourism island full of opportunities for agri-fishery, tourism, and services, now has become an island with warriors, leaders, protecting its assets and inhabitants, its residents and families, away from a lethal virus that has killed almost 3 million people worldwide and counting. This is not just a health crisis. This is an economic crisis. This is a human crisis. And the cause of this crisis still and may increase the number of people battling acute hunger. Disregarded climate change policies, massive income losses, and disrupted health services and supply chain. The increase in COVID-19 number and high demand for healthcare services delivery have overwhelmed our healthcare facilities and workers here in Guimaras and around the country. Today sa Siningadlaw, while we welcome a number of vaccines available from the national government and soon in the market, our status is still supply-driven. On top of those economic challenges lies the low level of vaccine confidence among our constituents. Given the power of social media, we see that the faster the information reaches our communities, the faster they become misinformed. At the outset, the pandemic developed into an infodemic. But this did not stop us from addressing real issues right there and then. We are the first province to impose border control and travel ban as early as January 31, 2020. In conjunction with a total of 33 COVID-19 related executive orders, mainly categorized to implement policies on adopting the different levels of response, community containment, travel, and health protocols, and other major harmonized decisions agreed upon by the COVID-19 Executive Committee. With the goal projecting a scheme to both stabilize the economy and protecting the people from the virus, and at the same time we have established initiatives and programs to balance these considerations. And we may have had difficult time at first, but because of our harmonized efforts, we now see that we have become more responsive and effective in managing this kind of situation. We exerted all our efforts to allocate resources and fulfill social obligation to efficiently and effectively manage emerging infectious diseases while providing quick health response and interventions. Pooling our resources towards the end, the total amount of 179.4 million pesos for COVID-19 response in 2020. We also have operationalized our incident commands here in the province and satellite station in Iloilo City for cohesive planning and operation, chain of command, public safety and information, and logistical management. Our regular programs and projects in the province have been stalled by this defining global health crisis. But we have pivoted towards protecting our people, returning and stranded Guimaras loans, the very reason why we had a total allocation of 179.4 million pesos dedicated for our collective fight against this pandemic. The largest slice for our expenditure, almost 39%, was dedicated to the procurement of relief goods distributed to 54,139 families province-wide. 16% went to all expenses for food, accommodations of returning overseas Filipinos and locally stranded individuals in the amount of 28.1 million pesos. Sharing the third biggest slice, each comprising 10% of the total expenditures, are our expenses for food, accommodation of the frontliners, health workers, which amounted to 16.9 million pesos. The purchase of medical, hospital, and facility equipment supplies amounting to 17.8 million pesos. The remaining portion of our expenditure will use for test kits, salary and wages, and hazard pay, overtime pay, and allowances of frontliners and personal protective equipments. The remaining 4% distributed for fuel, the restoration of Dr. Catalino Gallego Nava Provincial Hospital Annex as isolation ward for COVID-19 related expenses. This year, 2021, we have initially allocated a total of 24.9 million peso for almost the same category as mentioned previously. Our allocation has shrunk only for the first semester, as it will only cover the maintenance and the operating expenditures, since the quarantine and isolation facilities, screening posts, have already been fully established. Supplemental budget for cover second semester expenditures shall be requested to this August body, which will then include COVID-19 vaccine and other vaccination-related expenses. We have managed a total of 2,433 ROFs and 3,158 as of May 10, totaling to more than 5,000 Guimaras noon assisted since travel restriction commenced last year. We have already established our advanced and primary quarantine facilities in partnership with our 5 municipalities and the significant inputs of Congresswoman Maria Lucille Nava as an infectious disease specialist, former Congressman 𝗦𝗺𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗏 Nava, and the Honorable Presiding Officer of this August body, Attorney 𝗦𝗺𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗀. COVID-19 test kits were procured and information dissemination was intensified, which led to the Office of the Governor Information Relations Section to be awarded as one of the best in the region since 2015. We have put in place major re-engineering initiative going towards the expansion of our health service through the 𝗦𝗫𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃. Starting the last quarter of 2020, various interventions were proposed to further stabilize the financial status. As an economic enterprise, the trend of income of the hospital is erratic. The gross receipt and expenses have been directly proportional to the subsidy. Thus, we see that as the subsidy increases, the gross receipt and expenses also increase. And the otherwise, as evident by 2018 to 2020 net income, 436,877.66, 6.1 million, and 1.4 million respectively. However, this should not be the only justification. At present, the Hospital Management Board, together with a team of consultants from the medical field and hospital operations, we continue to prepare Dr. Catalino Gallego Naramba Provincial Hospital with the help of Dr. 𝗦𝗺𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 as consultant. It was in the first quarter of this year that Finance Services was created, solely separating its staffing and structure from the administrative services to focus more on the enterprise aspect of the hospital. Hiring additional contractual and permanent medical specialists were done to further prepare for this upgrade, together with the creation of the emergency medical department. Logistical requests from the hospital were approved, processed, and provided by the office, particularly those for personal protection against the virus. Further, the ER holding area was constructed for the installation of the septic ER and septic DR that accommodated patients waiting for RT-PCR test result and assist in the delivery of COVID-19 positive pregnant patients. And the 3-story annex building was repaired to be, again, the isolation ward for COVID patient. At present, we may still have active cases, but we are very proud to say that our economy is gradually reviving in comparison with our neighboring provinces, as reflected in our incoming tourists from within the Western Visayas seeking refuge and time in our island. 2019 vis-a-vis 2020 records show that there is a sharp decline of 85.12% in tourist arrival. Domestic, foreign, and overnight visitors and 77.83% decrease for the same-day visitors. The new normal in Guimaras did not just start during COVID-19 pandemic. We experienced the change in our ways when wooden-hulled motorbangka have become modernized, further causing displacement to our local crew and boatmen. This sector almost collapsed when national attention spotlighted Guimaras, when 31 lives perished during the August 3, 2019 sea tragedy. Thus, our campaign to safely experience Guimaras took off, bring the transportation sector to its readiness. Our tourism industry, including all stakeholders under this integrated umbrella. At present, a total of 61 enterprises have been accredited by DOT in terms of readiness and the new normal. On top of the regular accreditation, which means they are ready to operate as a tourism-related establishment, our tourism development plan is now being updated together with our ongoing PDPFP for 2020 up to 2029. 3 essential plans were endorsed and correspondingly approved by this August body: COVID-19 Rehabilitation and Recovery Plan, Balik Probinsya, Bagong Pag-asa Action Plan, and the Consolidated Tiers 1 and 2 for priority programs and projects for integration, and the Regional Development Investment Program for 2020 to 2022. Our way forward in the next 10 years is our readiness for different hazards and calamities, particularly public health emergencies due to emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases through the expansion of isolation facilities and ensuring that our municipalities and barangay are equipped as well. We are also going towards the upgrading of our hospital facilities and services and be qualified as a level 250 bed capacity for DCG and PH and level 1 for Buena Vista Emergency Hospital and 𝗦𝗺𝗂𝗍𝗂 District Hospital, both DOH and PhilHealth accredited. Generally, on the competitiveness, the rank of Guimaras declined by 9 notches, from 33 in 2019 to 42 in 2020. Out of the 76 participating provinces, this rank slid to 3rd place from 2nd in the previous year among the 6 provinces in Western Visayas. This decline is directly caused by the descent in the overall rank of 2 municipalities, namely Buena Vista and 𝗦𝗺𝗂𝗍𝗂. Economic dynamism has been the most affected, wherein 4 municipalities except San Lorenzo dropped their ranking. It may be attributable to the impact of pandemic, but this implies that there is a need to improve business expansion and job generation, services, processes, and facilities after being adversely affected by the August 3 sea tragedy. This was intensified because the COVID-19 pandemic and the 𝗚𝗃𝗃𝗃 tragedy, which at present finalizes arrangement on concerns relative to compensation for identified beneficiaries. Gross revenue generated by registered businesses showed a decrease, less than 15%, from 2.5 billion in 2019 to 2.1 billion in 2020. This is attributed to the gross revenue of the municipality of Hordan, which significantly dropped by 50% from 1.2 billion in 2019 down to 586.6 million pesos last year. Meanwhile, the municipality of Sibunag recorded the highest increase of 47.8%. 𝗦𝗺𝗂𝗎𝗄𝗄 with just 35%, 𝗦𝗺𝗺 with 22%, San Lorenzo with 11%. Our new capital, or those investments put in by private sectors, likewise indicated a significant decrease of 58% from 361 million in 2019 to 150 million pesos in 2020. 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗎 showed an outstanding record of 211 increase, followed by Hordan of 124% increase, San Lorenzo with 115% increase, Sibunag with 45% increase. The slump in our investment data was caused by the monumental decrease in new capital investment in Buena Vista, which declined by 94%. On employment generation, we have a minor decrease of only 1%. The displacement of labor forces under the transport sector industry, ang atong mga sakayanon, gagpang boat crew, cannot be directly deemed as the cause by the pandemic. Further, these labor forces, as reported by our concerned local government units, have no record of employment with tugboat operators, but more directly of the imposition of transport modernization mandated by Marina, as they are classified as service providers with no official binding documents for their services with the tugboats owners. Thus, as we regularly intensify our capacity building programs for livelihood, enterprises, business, and other services, we conducted various economic surveys primarily to ascertain the impact of the sea tragedy and the pandemic to our economy and specific target groups, which we used as the baseline data for a series of intervention we provided to them, from livelihood project, skill